if you have good soil, not just dirt, if you have good, living, healthy soil, you will have good, living, healthy plants.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah, like they say, like God made dirt and dirt don't hurt, but it does if it doesn't have the right
Soil's
nutrients
better.
for your plants. Then they just die.
Yeah.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to 6 to 8 Acres. We just wanted to invite you to come have a cup of coffee with us here in the homestead this morning as we're checking out our plants. If you were with us when we did the seed starting video, this is sort of the fruit of that labor.
It's doing so well. They're growing really fast.
Yeah, and actually, sort of trick of the trade here. Those are beans, and they grow like that.
The rest of them are little tomatoes. Don't look this lush.
Yeah, our little cauliflower. I don't know if you can even see this, but it's on its way. A little purple Sicily there.
It'll get there.
But yeah, you know, the reason that we wanted to make this video is because last night I had posted kind of a shot of this. I've been sort of capturing images every week of this little garden to sort of chart that process and be able to kind of put together a cool little, I don't know, way for us to document this experience of growing this fall.
Yeah, we put that kind of stuff up on Facebook and our Instagram.
Yeah, but I did that in a gardening group on Facebook, and a woman had mentioned, "Oh wow, I'm so jealous. It looks so great. My pepper plants, they all died." And I said, "Oh, it's terrible. What happened?" And she said, "You know, I don't know. They've been outside for like 4 days, and they're just all wilted and like brown and burnt and dying, and I don't know what's going on." And I mentioned like, "Hey, did you try hardening them off?" And she did not seem to know what that was. And so we just thought one of the things that's really important when it comes to seed starting is recognizing there's a process to not just getting the seeds going and growing and keeping them healthy, but also like how do we transition seedlings when they get ready for planting? How do we transition seedlings to the outside environment from the greenhouse or inside or sunroom or grow light wherever you're growing them? Like, how do we get them outside without killing everything?
Right. So what happens is if you're starting your seeds indoors, if you're starting them outside, ignore it all. It doesn't matter because they grow up out there in the harsh elements anyways. But if you're starting your plants indoors, whether that's in your house or in a greenhouse or even just under some sort of cover, you're actually protecting them from the wind and the rain, and a lot of the harsh rays of the sun are filtered through plastic or glass. And so they kind of grow up like pampered. They have a really thin, what's called a cuticle on the leaf. And so when you take it outside, what happens is it doesn't have a thick cuticle on the leaf, and so it loses water very quickly, and you can scorch your plants. Basically, you give them a terrible sunburn, and they die. They can't survive if they can't hold the water in their leaves. So you have to slowly introduce them so they can thicken that cuticle, and so that they can retain the water that they have. Yeah,
and we actually, I say all the time to my friends, and Ashley and I talked about it a lot, like the garden is a classroom. So I've had some D's in that classroom.
We have burnt some plants.
Yeah. Like last summer, we did a quick transition outside, thinking we gotta get them out, and we burned an awful lot of things.
It's worth the time it takes. It takes, about a week in order to get them out, maybe a little bit longer some days. The best time to start doing it, and you have to do it slowly, is on a really cloudy day, or put them in some dappled sunlight, mostly shade, and just leave them out for an hour. And then you have to bring them back into that protected environment so that they can heal from the damage that they sustained. And then as they do that, that's what thickens the cuticle. So then the next day, you're gonna put them out for 2 hours, and then the day after that, 3 hours, and the day after that, 4 hours. It's really kind of, if you don't have the time to do it, it's a little labor intensive.
Yeah.
Moving, I don't know how many cups we have here.
We cheat. We're just like pick up the table and go out the door.
But if you're doing it one at a time, whatever. But But you have to do that. You have to move them out slowly. You have to introduce them to the sun and the wind and the rain slowly, because they're babies and you have to treat them like that.
Yeah, and they're really, they're very sensitive, right? Because the internal environment, like Ashley said, it's very nice. And then the outside environment is that harsh, wild environment where they're gonna grow. And so you do that. There's also some things that you can do though, kind of in the process prior to getting them outside that are gonna help them to be stronger plants. One of those things is so simple, and it's just this. It's just touching the plant. It's just moving gently across the plant like that.
Yeah, if you pet your plants, what you're doing is you're acting like the wind. And when you do that, the plant wants to strengthen its roots so it doesn't get knocked over by the breeze. So as you sit here and run your hands over your plants and you go in and check on them 80 times a day, like
we do.
like garden moms do, just pet them. Just really gently run your hands through them and you'll actually get stronger stems from that.
Yeah, and it's important to do this stuff. I mean, again, it's a classroom, it's a learning experience, planting, and you want that fruit, you want that delicious food. Like that's why it's so tempting to come out and just say like, I want to look at the plants again, because you're dreaming about like, I can't wait till that's not just a tall vine with broad leaves. I can't wait till it has beans on it that I can take.
There is nothing more exciting to me than putting the seed in the ground and see it start to grow up, and then you have, the first flowers. You're just like,
yeah.
I just imagine like all the things I'm gonna do, all the meals we're gonna cook, all the food we're gonna get.
Yeah, it's exciting, and so you want to do these simple steps, like just get out and touch the plant. Just very gently run your hand across it, simulate the wind, and it'll help to strengthen the stems. It'll help their, I guess they're not trunks, they are stems, aren't they?
Stems.
Yeah, it'll help the stems to be strong.
Just yet.
Right.
That'll
No. Yes. But and then make sure that before you just put your plants outside, you harden them off. You help them to develop that cuticle. You're giving them the optimal opportunities, and then you won't be super discouraged when you look out and go, why are my plants dead?
Yeah, because that is always a bummer. It is a huge bummer to put so much time and effort into it, into getting things going, and then to have it taken away from you like that.
Yeah.
It's just by an easy mistake I have made.
Both of us.
I understand that.
Yeah, both of us.
But yeah, we're getting super excited. Everything's growing really well in here right now. We have plotted out our garden space. We have, it's gonna take a while. We have a whole video coming about how we're building our garden out, because right now we just have a yard. Basically,
right.
It's just a plot of grass. So we have to get a sod cutter, we have to get a tiller, we have to add in amendments to the soil, because you actually took a soil sample to our Ag Center extension, and they let us know what's missing from the soil, what needs to be added to the soil in order to make it optimal for the growing for growing things we want. So we need to do that, and then we'll finally be able to put these things in the ground in a couple more weeks.
Yeah.
So I think September 15th,
yep,
right? September 15th is the day things need to go into the ground where we are.
Yep.
So that'll be really exciting. We have a lot to do for that.
Yes, we do have a lot. Yeah, and we'll help. We'll not help. We will. We'll also take you along kind of in that process of amending the beds and talk about what we're doing and why we're doing it, because I get it. I would just hear people say like, we've got to amend our beds, and I didn't know what in the world that meant. I was like, they've got to amend them, something's wrong. But I didn't know what it was. I didn't know anything about, adding lime to change the acidity of the soil. I didn't know anything about making sure, you have your right ratios for nitrogen and phosphorus and potash and magnesium and calcium and all the different things you're looking at. And I know it sounds really complex, and like, wait, hold on a second. I didn't realize this was like science class. Like, do we have to science?
It's really way more easy than it sounds, although it is super important, because we did our very first garden, and we thought we'll just put a seed in the dirt and it'll grow. And it didn't at all. It didn't at all grow. So we had to, that's why we started using the back toast in order to start our seeds, give them a good healthy start. And then we learned that, you have to have you have to build your soil.
That's right.
Your soil is something that is alive and thriving. You have to treat it better than your plants. If you have good soil, not just dirt, if you have good, living, healthy soil, you will have good, living, healthy plants.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah, like they say, like, God made dirt and dirt don't hurt, but it does if it doesn't have the right nutrients for your plants. Then they just die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really good.
So anyway, we just wanted to make sure that we kept you up to date where we're at, talked through the process, taught you something cool that was useful for us, We hope it's helpful for you. We hope that if you're gardening out there, or if you're following us and you say, I want to do that, I'm kind of inspired to do that, that you don't get discouraged. And that's probably the biggest thing. Like if there's anything I can pass on, if I can pass on, right? Ashley is super positive about gardening. She loves it. She's really good at it. I want to see progress. And so like if I don't see progress, I'm like, oh man, what am I doing wrong? Gosh, maybe I'm not good at this. And I can just tell you that in this gardening classroom that is, planting and growing things, don't be so discouraged by mistakes or by things that don't turn out the way you intended. Don't be so discouraged by those that you quit, because the truth of the matter is often it's really something simple or something you're like, oh, I didn't know that.
Right.
And it's okay. It's okay to make those mistakes. It's okay to be like, nothing grew this year. Dang.
Well, and you plant in the next season. It's not like I've done it wrong now, I have to wait an entire year to try again. Shoot, like that was a waste of time and money and effort. It's not. Just start again. Do it again. Put another seed in the ground. Use what you've learned. Grow as much as you want your plants to in your knowledge, and you're gonna have what you desire. You're gonna have a beautiful garden. You just will.
Yeah.
So it's not rocket science. It is a science, but it's not rocket science, and so you can do it.
Yeah, and she's right. Plant the seasons, and we're gonna do that. We're actually you'll follow us. This is our fall planting, and then you'll follow us through winter, and then we'll have spring, which is such an exciting time,
Very exciting.
and next summer, and we'll just keep doing it again and again. And we hope that you again are super inspired, encouraged, and just feel like I can do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Well,
we gotta go make
We've
breakfast.
got stuff to do. Yeah. All right. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye.